Assalamu alaikum my dear students, welcome to studyhigh.pk and subscribe, keep in contact for more videos and update. Today I am going to start a chapter carbohydrate, lecture 1, biochemistry MBBS. In this lecture, first of all, I will introduce you the importance of carbohydrates, why this chapter is very important if you want to know about a different type of diseases, human body functions, etc. Then my major focus will be on isomerism, different type of isomers, why isomerism is very necessary if you understand the different type of processes happening in a human body, different type of reactions, enzymes, actions, etc. We will discuss in detail. So first of all, I want to tell you the importance of this chapter, carbohydrate, the diversity of carbohydrate, why this chapter is very important and a basic chapter of MBBS. So first of all, if you want to know about your blood group, as you know we have different types of blood group, A blood group, B blood group. We specify different types on the basis of the presence of antigen on the red blood cells. What is antigen? Antigen is a glycoprotein made of carbohydrate proteins, and blood groups have different type of peculiarities like Bombay phenotype etc. Similarly, our immune system, antibodies, plasma cells, B lymphocyte, T lymphocyte respond to the different type of antigens. So carbohydrates are very important in this type of antigens produced by different type of microorganisms. Similar infection of bacteria, you take streptomycin antibiotic or penicillin. How streptomycin and penicillin work? They work with the destruction of bacterial cell wall. What is bacterial cell wall? Bacterial cell wall again is peptidoglycan made of a protein, peptide fragments and glycan chains. So now we will discuss the number of carbon atoms in a monosaccharides. Mostly students think that monosaccharide consists of only 7 carbon atoms, but that is not true. Monosaccharides having 9 carbon atoms called nonases also present. Example is N-acetyl uronic acid, which consists of 9 carbon atoms. Its structure, how it forms, its functions in connective tissue we will discuss in our coming lectures. So monosaccharide with 9 carbon is also present. Similarly, those monosaccharides which consist of 7 carbon atoms, heptoses is also present like pseudoheptulose, D-pseudoheptulose, L-pseudoheptulose. So those consist of 6 carbon atoms, hexoses, pentoses, riboses, trioses like diglyceraldehyde, dihydroxyacetone. These are the different types which you know about. So monosaccharide can be classified into different numbers on the basis of number of carbon atoms. So uronic acid, pseudoheptulose, you must also remember these two important monosaccharides as well. Now the second important concept is the significance of isomerism and polyols formation. How polyols form? What is the significance of isomerism? If you want to know how glycogen and cellulose are differ from each other, both on complete hydrolysis yield glucose. Both consist of glucose monomers, but one is glycogen, other is cellulose. One can be digested by human body, other cannot be digested by human body. So this difference, how glycogen and cellulose is different from each other, or how starch and cellulose are different from each other, you can specify, you can explain this on the basis of the knowledge of isomerism. Similarly, isomerisms have different type of functions which we'll discuss soon. Polyols. First we think how polyols form. Polyols are the alcohols having a number of hydroxyl groups. Monosaccharides, carbohydrates can be converted into polyols by reduction, by addition of hydrogens, by reducing the carbonyl group like aldehyde is converted into alcohol, similarly ketones. So polyols are derived from carbohydrate, but these are very important in our clinical life. Like polyols help in weight reduction and controlling diabetes. Why? So first I want to tell you how polyols are formed. Like here you can see this is a glucose. by using an enzyme aldose reductase. Aldose reductase which reduces the aldo group. This enzyme using a NADPH nicotinamide adenine phosphate. So this by using this coenzyme, this can reduce the aldehyde group of glucose and form sorbitol. What is the importance of sorbitol? If someone asks you. So polyols have two important functions. These can be used in weight reduction because the energy level of polyols is less than carbohydrate. First thing. Second, these polyols are also be used for diabetes patients. Like those patients which suffer from diabetes or have high level of glucose, you give them this low energy polyols because these are not glucose. So similarly, those patients we give them polyols. Polyols are helpful in weight reduction because energetically these are less important or less significant than that of carbohydrate. And the second thing, these are not carbohydrate. So for diabetes patient who suffer from high glucose level in the blood. Now we are going to discuss the different type of isomerism like enantiomers, epimers, anomeriisms. So first of all we will discuss enantiomers. To understand this, first you must know about what is asymmetrical carbon. Which carbon we can say it is asymmetrical carbon in a specific monosaccharide, like how many asymmetrical carbons present in glucose, similarly fructose. So you must know about what is asymmetrical carbon and its number in different type of monosaccharide. First thing, so after completing discussion about enantiomers, you will also came to know about some different type of concept like why we not consider configuration of terminal carbon of glucose, why most L sugars not digested by human. So to understand enantiomers, first I want to define you what is enantiomers. Like this is the L-glycerose, D-glycerose means L-glyceraldehyde, D-glyceraldehyde. Both are the mirror images of each other. We specify enantiomers into different types on the basis of the orientation of H and OH group on a specific carbon. The point is which carbon? Like glucose consists of 6 carbon atoms. On which carbon you can see that this is a L-glucose and this is D-glucose. Why you see orientation of this carbon atom, orientation of OH and H group on this carbon? Why you not see orientation of H and OH group on that carbon? So which carbon? Orientation of OH and H group. Like if you see glucose, this is L-glucose, this is D-glucose. Both have same chemical formula, both are mirror images of each other. But in L-glucose, you say that the OH group on carbon number 5 is present on the left side. That's why we call it is L-glucose. Whereas in D-glucose, which we also call D mean dextro, L mean levo. In D-glucose, the OH group is present on the right side. That's why this is called D-glucose. Both have same aldehyde group, both have same number of carbon atoms, same chemical formula. So on the basis of the orientation of H and OH group on a specific carbon, we differentiate different type of monosaccharides into D and L form. These both are enantiomers of each other. But question arises, why we see only orientation of carbon number 5? Why not carbon number 4? Why not carbon number 3? Question arises. So there are two rules to understand which carbon should we prefer to differentiate glucose into two types. To understand enantiomers, a specific carbon, we will see that carbon first thing should be asymmetrical carbon. What is asymmetrical carbon? Any carbon which is connected with four different groups. Like if you see the structure of glucose, carbon number 3 is one bond is connected to hydrogen, second to OH, third to carbonyl carbon, and fourth to a carbohydrate chain. So it is asymmetrical carbon. Carbon number 3 is asymmetrical. Carbon number 4 is also asymmetrical. It is connected to four different type of groups like OH group, one this group and second this group. So carbon number 3, 4, 5, all these are asymmetrical carbons. This is the structure of fructose. So fructose consists of 3 asymmetrical carbons, whereas glucose consists of 4 asymmetrical carbons. Why carbon number 2 is not asymmetrical? Because it is connected by 2 bonds with oxygen, and it not connected with 4 different bonds, 4 different atoms groups. Whereas carbon number 6, it is also symmetrical carbon, not asymmetrical. Why? It is connected with 2 hydrogens. So that's why this is also symmetrical. So first thing, the orientation of H and OH group, by which we can divide it into different types, L isomers, D isomers, should be asymmetrical carbon. But second rule is very important. The asymmetrical carbon whose orientation, which we will see to divide it into L and D type, should be far away from the carbonyl carbon. Like this is the carbonyl carbon. All these are asymmetrical carbon atoms, but we differentiate into D and L form on the basis of carbon number 5, because this asymmetrical carbon is at maximum distance from the carbonyl carbon. So on the basis of two rules, we divide enantiomers into two types, D and L form. First thing, on the basis of asymmetrical carbon, orientation of H and OH group on the asymmetrical carbon. And the second thing, the carbon whose orientation you are seeing must be far away from the carbonyl carbon. So these two things are very important. Like if you see L-glycerol, carbon number 2 is asymmetrical carbon because it is connected to different type of groups. And we see the orientation of H and OH on asymmetrical carbon. It has only one asymmetrical carbon. So if someone asks you how many asymmetrical carbon atoms glucose consists of 4 asymmetrical carbons. Why you see orientation of H and OH group on carbon number 5 of glucose? Why not 4? Then you tell them that the orientation which carbon we will prefer in differentiating enantiomers into different types, D form, L form. One more concept, why most L sugars not digested by humans. Because our enzymes are specific for its substrate. D enzymes can only digest D sugars. L enzymes can only digest L sugars. Similarly, as most of sugars you take as a diet is D sugar. Our most abundant sugar is D sugar, and most enzymes that are present in our body are D enzymes. That's why some L sugars could not be digested, because we lack enzymes for their digestion. So now we will start our next isomerism type, epimers. So after completing this lecture about epimers, you will know about why glucose and galactose are called epimers of each other, whereas galactose and mannose cannot be epimers. So are two epimers can be isomers? So these are some important questions which you will came to know after my discussion. So first of all, epimers are the isomers. This is true. This is the sub-classification of isomers. First, isomers are further classified into different types. Epimers are also isomers. Glucose and mannose are epimers of each other but are also isomers because both have same chemical formula. Similarly, glucose and galactose are isomers of each other because both have same chemical formula but are also epimers, whereas galactose and mannose both are isomers of each other because they have same chemical formula but both are not epimers. This is the difference. Glucose and galactose and mannose cannot be epimers of each other. So why this is, you will also came to know. So first I want to define what are the epimers. Epimers are the two isomers that differ in variation of O and H group around only one carbon atom. Like glucose consists of 6 carbon, galactose consists of 6 carbon. As you can see, both have 6 carbons, both have same chemical formula, but they differ in orientation of H and OH group. only on one carbon. Like in galactose, carbon number 4, you see orientation of H and OH group. OH group in carbon number 4 in galactose present on left side, whereas OH and OH group present in glucose is on right side, and all other orientation is same. So we see the orientation of H and OH group around only one carbon if two monosaccharide differ in variation of H and OH group around only one specific carbon. So then we call these both are epimers of each other. But which carbon? That carbon should not be carbonyl carbon. This is the logic or this is the rule of classifying epimers into different types. Now we will see how glucose and mannose are epimers of each other. Both have aldehyde group. Both consist of equal number of carbons. Glucose on carbon number 2 has different orientation of H and OH group from mannose on carbon number 2. So glucose and mannose are carbon 2 epimers, whereas galactose and glucose are carbon 4 epimers. This is the difference between these two epimers. Like in mannose, all other carbon orientation in both glucose and mannose are same. Whereas in carbon number 2, the OH group is present in left side in mannose, whereas in glucose it is present on right side. So I have tell you, so epimers are those which differ in variation of H and OH group around only one specific. This is the basic condition on the basis of that two monosaccharide will be differ from each other only on the basis of H and OH group around only one specific carbon, not two. Now I will tell you why mannose and galactose are not epimers of each other. If you see, this is a structure of galactose. This is the mannose. On carbon number 3, H and OH group is present 1. On carbon number 4, OH is present on left side in galactose, and in mannose it is present in right side. One orientation of carbons differ from each other on one carbon. So in mannose, carbon number 4 of galactose and carbon number 4 of mannose are different. Similarly on carbon number 2, this is also different. Mannose and galactose differ from each other on two carbons. Like carbon number 2 of galactose has OH on right side, whereas in mannose carbon number 2 has OH on left side. But in carbon number 4, galactose has OH in left side, whereas mannose has OH in right side. So they differ from two carbon atoms. So differed in orientation. On the only I tell you that this is the basic condition that two monosaccharides who are epimers should be differed in orientation of H and OH group only one carbon, but galactose and mannose are different from two carbons. So that's why we cannot say that these are epimers. Galactose and mannose are isomers, but we cannot say them epimers because they have different orientation of H and OH group on two carbons, not only one. So I have tell you what is the role of epimerism in clinical life. Simple, because of epimerism, mannose have different functions. A galactosemia, in which galactose cannot be digested by human body or in different type of functions. So glucose has different functions, galactose has different functions. Both have galactose and glucose form lactose, whereas glucose and glucose will study our last topic of isomerism, anomerism. To understand anomerism, first of all, you must know who is cyclic sugars converted into cyclic sugars, what are the possible changes occur in their structure when a specific acyclic monosaccharide converted into cyclic form, etc. So second questions, why anomers are also called diastereoisomers. This is a concept which I will tell you. What is mutual rotation and clinical significance of this. So first of all, when a specific acyclic monosaccharide like glucose converted into cyclic form, what are the changes occurred? First of all, the aldehyde form, the aldehyde group react with the carbon 5 OH hydroxyl group. So hydroxyl alcohol and aldehyde react with each other to form hemiacetal. So when a aldehyde group react with the hydroxyl group to convert monosaccharide acyclic form into cyclic form, and hemiacetal will form. Similarly, if this is a fructose and fructose converted into cyclic form, then we say that hemiketal will form. Reaction between a hydroxyl group, alcohol and ketone give rise to hemiketal, and aldehyde and hydroxyl group on reaction with each other give rise to hemiacetal. So what will happen? As you know that the carbonyl carbon is a symmetrical carbon. In acyclic form, carbonyl carbon of glucose, fructose is symmetrical carbon because its two bonds bound to one atom. And asymmetrical carbon is that which is connected to four different carbon atoms. So when this is converted into cyclic form, this carbon number 2, if you see, is one bond connected with this carbon, carbon number 3, one bond connected with CH2OH, third bond connected with oxygen, fourth bond connected with hydroxyl group. So now this is connected with four different type of groups. In acyclic form, it is connected with three different groups. One oxygen, one CH2OH, one carbon. So if someone asks you what are the possible changes that occurs when a acyclic sugar converted into cyclic form? The first change, the carbonyl carbon in acyclic form connected with three atoms, three different groups, whereas in cyclic form it connected with four different groups. In acyclic form it is symmetrical, in cyclic form it is asymmetrical. So this is a very important difference between acyclic and cyclic. So no, this is symmetrical, asymmetrical. No, in cyclic form this carbon is asymmetrical, and the orientation of this OH group around this asymmetrical carbon determines its give rise to different type of anomers, like alpha anomers in which OH group present below the ring or outside the ring, whereas in beta it is present upside. So simple in recognition this anomerism is that the OH group is the position of OH group. Basically the logic is that how this convert is very deep, not much deep, but in simply recognizing in papers this OH group is present if above the carbon, then it we call it is beta carbon, beta anomer. If present below the ring, then we call alpha. Like glucose on polymerized alpha glucose on polymerizing into large structures give rise to glycogen amylose, whereas beta glucose after polymerizing into different structures give rise to cellulose. So if you want to know, I tell you in the initial of lectures, isomerism will help you in knowing about how cellulose and glycogen are different. Both consist of glucose. So this is anomerism, which tell you that glycogen consists of alpha glucose. Glycogen is a polymer of alpha glucose, whereas cellulose is a polymer of beta glucose. So this is anomerism, which you tell you different about different type of polysaccharides, differentiate in different type of polysaccharides. So what is mutual rotation? This is a beta D glucose. As you see, OH group is present above. This is a D glucose. Acyclic form. This is the alpha D glucose. In solution, what will happen? Beta D glucose can be reversibly converted into D glucose back into its original form. Similarly, D glucose can again be rearrange itself into alpha D glucose. So this is happening in solutions. So these are interconvertible. Like alpha D glucose converted into D glucose further converted into alpha D glucose. So alpha and beta in solution form both are present. So this interconversion of these glucose, alpha D glucose and beta D glucose is called mutual rotation. So this is called mutual rotation. So these are called stereoisomers because these are not mirrored images of each other. If you see in mirror images, H and OH group is present whether left or right side. Both H and OH present outside the ring along one side. This is a spatial relationship of H and OH group, but these are not mirrored images of each other. Because these are not mirrored images of each other, that's why we are called diastereoisomers also. So anomers are also called diastereoisomers. Diastereoisomers simply meaning those groups, those atoms which are not mirror images of each other. So simply that's why, because these are not mirror images of each other, we also say anomers as diastereoisomers. So first of all, what we study in our lecture, I tell you about different the importance of carbohydrate. First of all, then I tell you about different types of monosaccharides, number of carbon atoms, polyols, its importance in weight reduction, similarly in controlling diabetes, why we give polyols to diabetes patients. Similarly, neuronic acid has a role in extracellular matrix, which we will explain in our incoming lectures, inshallah. Then I tell you about enantiomers, its importance, then different asymmetrical carbon atoms, epimers, anomers. So this is our first lecture. Inshallah, in next lecture we will study about different type of further classification of carbohydrates, its importance, etc. So hope you best of luck. Best wishes from my side. Like and subscribe for more videos and update. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.